Teresa, we all set?
In the back, okay, we're ready to stream. We're ready to go.
I'd like to call to order the RTA Committee of the Whole. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kumar,
Here?
Ms. Welch,
Here.
Mayor Biassiata,
Here.
Mr. Love, Reverend Lucas, Ms. McPherson, Ms. Mersman,
Here.
Ms. Pachetti,
Here.
Mr. Sleesman,
Here.
and Mayor Weiss. You have 7 committee members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Item 2 is an executive session is requested to discuss the results of the 2023 audit by the Auditor of State. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
Second, Welch.
Okay, roll call, please. Yes?
Ms. Welch,
Yes.
Mayor Biassiata,
Yes.
Reverend Lucas, Ms. Mersman,
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti,
Yes.
and Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
You have 7 ayes and none opposed.
Great. We are going to adjourn for a moment to the committee room in the back. General Manager, who would you like to have
Sure.
involved in that?
Thank you and good morning. We will retain Raj Gotham, John Tyre, Josh Moran.
I'm going to make a motion that we come out of executive session. Is there a second?
Second, Welch.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Kumar.
Yes.
Ms. Welch.
Yes.
Mayor Biassiata.
Here.
Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Ms. Mersman.
Yes.
Ms. Pachetti.
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yes.
And Mayor Weiss isn't here. You have 8 ayes and none opposed.
Great, thank you very much. Now that we're back in the committee session, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second, Welch.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. I would like to call to order the RTA Board of Trustees meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata.
Here.
Mayor Kumar.
Here.
Mr. Love. Reverend Lucas. Ms. McPherson.
Here.
Ms. Mersman.
Here.
Ms. Pachetti.
Here.
Mr. Sleesman.
Here.
Mayor Weiss and Ms. Welch.
Here.
You have 8 board members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Item number 3, certification regarding notice of meeting.
Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given to news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, approval of the May 21st, 2024 board minutes. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Or second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions on those minutes? Okay, if not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Those meeting minutes are adopted. Public comment number 5, 2 minutes. This is on agenda items only at this point in time. So if we do have a public comment on this, I would ask you to state the agenda item that you're referring to. Do we have anyone in person that would like to make a comment?
You just need to hit the mic.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Adam Bresnahan. I live in the city of Cleveland. This comment is related to the general fund revenue report. We need more ridership to generate revenue, and Gold Bus rapid transit projects can help. Cleveland Nurse Public Transit demands that GCRTA make significant improvements on all future BRT lines, and not just on West 25th, but throughout the county. High-quality BRT transit service is extremely important to riders and to increasing ridership, thus increasing revenue. The West 25th line is the first in a series of plans to improve bus service for thousands of riders that rely on GCRTA daily to get to work, school, healthcare, and other important destinations throughout the community. The GCRTA has identified 16, quote, priority corridors, including Broadway and Lorraine, for future improvements. But too often, these so-called improvements are watered down and do not result in major changes that actually improve service and grow ridership. This time, we call on you to go for the gold and implement major improvements that achieve a, quote, gold rating from the Institute for Transportation and Development Policy, or the ITDP, from their BRT scorecard, a rating system used worldwide, which I'll hand out in a minute. According to the ITDP BRT scoreboard, all BRT lines, and not just Gold, should include off-board fare collection to speed up service and platform-level boarding. Infrequent service, slow speeds, overcrowding, lack of enforcement of the right-of-way for bus priority, and long signal cycles are penalized under the BRT standard. CPT calls on GCRTA to make fast, frequent service standards for all BRT products, including West 25th. I have copies of the scorecard to share with the board and staff. We really hope the GCRTA will establish a meaningful standard for what BRT in Cuyahoga County means. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I pass these out? Sure.
Are there any other individuals here in public, in person, that would like to make a public comment?
What do I do?
Can you hear me? I guess you can. My name is Mary Ann Ezel, and I live in Lake County, but you do come to pick me up in that apartment building. You don't go any further. So I appreciate the rides I get.
And which agenda item are you commenting on?
Huh?
Which agenda item are you commenting on?
Agenda?
Yeah, this is for agenda items at this point.
Okay, well, when you had your complaints, because I've called and nobody ever got back with me, so who
Okay,
would I?
we'll have another public session in a moment.
Oh, I'm
Okay?
sorry.
That's okay. Any other comments on agenda items? Okay, any on phone comments?
Anything?
We have one,
Okay.
0387. You may go ahead and talk now.
This is Derek Stewart, and this is in reference to the same comments that the previous man spoke about improvement of ridership. If it is your intention, and it should be, although you have not displayed that it is, to improve ridership as you are obligated to do, this is a taxpayer-funded agency. One of the things you need to do is to improve on the answering and responding to the survey at 621-9500. I have called 27 times since this survey supposedly has been implemented, which is approximately 7 months. And out of those 27 times, I've been able to get to the survey 3 times. I've been disconnected 24 times. This includes yesterday at approximately 4:03 p.m. Beverly answered the call from the call center. She answered all of my questions. I waited to be connected to the survey. I did push all the correct prompts, and I was disconnected. Today, which was only the 3rd time that I was able to get through, Denise answers the phone at 621-9500. She answered all of my questions, and then the survey came on. I was able to address all the questions that the survey asked me to address. How on earth do you really believe that you're going to be able to continue to deceive the public in saying that you're doing such good service with the public when your survey is not working like it's supposed to work? And this has been called to your attention many times, at least since December.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Stewart, this is a randomized survey, and there will be an update on it at the next committee session. So we'll give you an update on that at that time.
There
Any
were
other
no
callers?
calls.
Any web comments?
No web comments at this time.
Great, thank you very much. Board Governance Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Pleaseman.
Yeah, yes, the Ad Hoc Technology Committee met on June 17th. It had been the first time in over a year that the committee had met. So Mike Lively, the Director of Information Technology here at GCRTA, gave us an update as to what we are working on, as well as the context, the historical context of that committee, which was formed by now Mayor Bibb in 2019. Including the improved vehicle technology and the enhanced transit police technology and our upgraded fare collection system. And the update on what we're currently working on is the new validators for both the mobile app and for future use of smart cards are installed on all of the vehicles now, except for the red line, which is forthcoming as soon as the validators for the Tower City fare gates are installed, and the testing on those fare gates is happening right now. And we're expecting by the end of the year to have account-based ticketing, smart cards, and then we'll be working from there on having fare capping and further incorporation of technology in our fare collection. And then a good chunk of the meeting was also held in collaboration with the City of Cleveland. Liz Crow, the Director of the Office of Urban Analytics and Innovation for the City of Cleveland, came in and talked about the open data dashboards and the platform that they're using at the City of Cleveland. They launched, I believe, in March, and we had a very robust conversation and back and forth with Liz about what went into that, what went into the creation of it, and what we might do as we have on our horizons something similar when it comes to open data and an open data platform. And how we would use that here at the authority. It was a great meeting, and the next meeting will be held in September. If anyone wants to view that meeting or look over what happened, I believe it's posted on both our website and the YouTube channel, and we will keep everyone informed when the meeting in September is finally scheduled.
Thank you very much for that update. Are there any other committee or ad hoc reports at this time? Seeing none, we will move to item 14, introduction of new employees and announcement of promotions. Ida?
Good morning, Board President Kumar, General Manager, India Birdsong Terry, and Board of Trustees. I'm excited to talk about our new hires for June. We had a huge event back in April, and so you'll now see the fruits of our labor coming out. So I'm going to be here for a minute. We're starting out with our operators, Brian Wilson, Tyrone Neal, Aaron Agee, Keontae Calhoun, Dehara McIntyre, Demetrius Brown, Aaron Brown, Javier Mopin, Danelle Grant. Jennifer Wagner, Bradley Bunkowski, David Alford, Gerald Knox, Felicia Higgins, Angela Pearl, Hughes Menke, George Scott, LaRonda Eccles. Derek Jones, Daniel Bell, Jasmine Wade, Patricia Aldridge, Donald Williams Sr., Jamie Williams, DeQuana Haley, Mia Radford, Roselle Sneed. Monique Grimes, Ariel Cowling, Mahmoud Hassan, Anthony Williams Jr., Sherelle Drake, Teddy Rosado, Rochelle Holmes, Carl Poitras Jr., Toya Hale. Philip Duncan, Linda Butts, Tamika Johnson, Balan Tillman, Clifford Mitchell, Frederick Indar, Latasha Graves, Brandon Brokaw, and Angela Terry. Corey Davis, Kristen Hughes, Tony Hatcher, Thomas Bell, Anita Hughes, Troy Adams as rail operators. Okay, those were our operators. That was great. Sierra, yes, thank you for hard work. All right, moving into our operations, we have Sierra Taylor as a paratransit dispatcher, Andre Stefan as a line maintainer, Bernardino Graziano, equipment servicer, Brad Bannister, mechanic apprentice, Dante Tompkins, mechanic apprentice, Justin Armour, mechanic apprentice, Cole Williams, mechanic apprentice, LaShawn Tarver, laborer, Lydell St. Clair, laborer, Steve Osinki, maintainer, Cody Webb, maintainer. We're going to talk about and highlight our public transit development program interns. Jacob Weissman, department intern, Taylor Casey, Alexandria Hahn, Kelly Feeke, David Martinez, John Burkett, Connor Pisano, Parker Walker Neeson, and Isabella Guanera. Continue with our interns, Victoria Scott, Gerard Lau, department intern, engineering, Trinity Robinson, intern for engineering, Kylie Giancola, department intern, Alexandria Adams, engineering intern, Derek Noack, intern for engineering. Our departments won't run without our administrative assistants, so we have Neil Bendana, Kelly Smith, and Lisa Young. Moving into the engineers, we've been a long time coming. We've had some changes. We found some engineers, and I know our engineering division is very happy, but Derek Minke as an engineer for project manager mechanical. Andrew Corman, project manager engineer for signals. Todd Morrison, resident engineer architect. Antoine Williams, operations analyst. Elizabeth Pierce, compensation administrator. Danielle Thomas, contract administrator 1. Drew Demick, contract administrator 2. Scott Lawson, contract administrator 2. And Kadrian Hinton, digital content specialist. Vicki Hall, HRS specialist. Latrice Sullivan, budget management analyst. And Malik Sifala, talent acquisition business partner 1. We're going into our transit police department, and it's Alexander Sayeko, Justin Williams, who I have to tell you is a marksman in the class for the Cleveland Heights Academy, top marksman. Makala Ritchie, Chelsea Thompson, was the highest achiever in that class as well. We're proud of her. Stephen Owens, Evan Stutzman, and David Timok. Our promotions: Sierra Baker, Dispatcher Public Paratransit; Nicole Campbell, HRS Specialist 2; LaRonda Johnson, HRS Specialist 2; Catherine Krolovic, Benefits Specialist 2; Robert Jefferson, Talent Acquisition Business Partner 2, who is also part of our command center and responsible for hiring the operators, alongside of Margaret Colon Ramos, who's here, Talent Acquisition Business Partner 2; Peter Gregerson as a HVAC mechanic; and Vanessa Holloman, janitor leader. We've been really busy. So I want to thank you all and give them all the congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
President, before you leave the podium, this report was received, of course, with commendations and applause, but that's really been a major, major report, and I think it deserves one more big cheer. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to resolutions. As you may know, we review all these in committee sessions prior to the board meeting, which have been done with these. So at that point, resolution 2024-42.
Authorizing contract number 2024-072 with Vehicle Maintenance Program for the furnishing of remanufactured brake caliper assemblies as specified and as required for a period of 2 years in an amount not to exceed $623,154. General Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
Great, you've heard the resolution. Any comments from the board? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-43.
Authorizing the General Manager, Chief Executive Officer to enter into an agreement with Medina County to exchange operating funds for Medina County's capital grant funds and to provide for Medina County to fund a portion of the cost of GCRTA's 251 flyer route.
Great, you've heard that resolution. Comments from the board? Okay. If not, is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-44.
To the President, there is an error in the price. It has been changed for the signed copy. It's $6,000. There's some extra zeros there, so
Okay.
just to give you a heads up before I read it.
Okay, thank you.
Authorizing the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority to enter into a joint development agreement with Michelli Dairy Products Company, an Ohio corporation, followed by a purchase and sale agreement in amount of $6,000 to property known as portion of Cuyahoga County permanent parcel number 126-23-021, located along the Blue and Green Line Rapid Transit Corridor between East 90th Street and East 92nd Street in Cleveland, Ohio, 44104.
Okay, great. You've heard that resolution. We've talked about that. It's an opportunity, I think, for RTA to work with an employer in the area to create some future expansion and job development. And I think they'll be using our rail line, so it's a win all the way around. I'll make a motion that we move that forward. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Biassiata,
Yes. Yes.
Mayor Kumar,
Yes.
Reverend Lucas,
Yes.
Ms. McPherson, Ms. Merseman,
Abstain.
Ms. Pachetti,
Yes.
Mr. Sleesman,
Yes.
and Ms. Welch.
Yes.
You have 7 ayes and 1 abstention. It passes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2024-45.
removing chapters 640, introduction, 652, computer use, and 654, subpoenas and indemnification of employees from the codified rules and regulations of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority.
Great, you've heard that resolution. Any comments from the board? Is there a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-46.
To amend the fiscal year 2024 revenues and appropriations as adopted in resolution number 2023-103 to provide for an increase in the appropriation for the law enforcement fund in an amount of $25,000.
Heard that. Any comments? Motion to approve, please.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries as well. Resolution 2024-47.
Appointment of 2 members to the Civilian Oversight Committee.
Thank you very much. Would the chair like to make a few comments?
I would. I just want to say that for those of you who are new to the Civilian Oversight Committee, this has been in the works for longer than a year and a half, thanks to GCRTA leadership and staff members who understood the importance of transparency in our law enforcement agency. And I am extremely grateful to have worked with GCRTA leadership, staff, and our board to implement this process where we are proactively working with our transit officers to make sure that we are not only holding them accountable, but having, again, a level of transparency in the community. And today, we are going to have Mike Blake and John England, after an extensive search for new committee members, join the committee. And so we're so grateful to have them here today. Would you like to add anything, GM Birdsong Terry?
Just saying that I totally support everything that you just mentioned. It has been a long time coming as far as making sure that we are fully staffed, but I'd say overall making sure that we are making good on our promises to the community to make sure that we continue to be a trusted partner. We do have our Deputy Chief Gettings in the back here. Just wanted to recognize him for leading us through this, along with Commander Hudson and the various members of the community, along with our staff here. We appreciate the time that people have invested in this. As you well know, it is not an easy schedule sometimes, but I think that it's just an added bonus and a feather in our cap to maintaining the trust that we've worked so hard to attain. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Would you like to make a motion?
Sure. Do we have a motion to move forward with the appointment of 2 members of the Civilian Oversight Committee? I would make the first motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Welcome. Would you like to recognize the member?
Thank you so much. If you would like to come up, we're going to grab a couple of pictures. Do you want to do that now or later?
Actually, if we could hold, if that's
Hold,
okay.
okay, we'll hold
What
after.
what we're gonna do is actually have you sworn in. We like to make it official around here, and we have a pretty short agenda today. Every time I say that, we don't. But we're gonna go ahead and hold that so that we can get it all done at the same time. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Great. Next, we have the Secretary Treasurer's Report. Raj Gotham.
Mayor Kumar, members of the board, this is Raj Gautam. I'm the board secretary treasurer, here to provide an overview of the financial activities and the conditions under which we're operating. Start off by looking at the economic conditions and a summary of the annual inflation rate, as well as the interest rates that are currently prevalent. In March 2024, inflation had risen to 3.5% and actually decreased to 3.4% in May. Excuse me. The FOMC met on June 11th and 12th, and decided to retain the rates at 5.4%. They are scheduled to meet again on July 30th for any future action. In May 2024, ridership was 8.6% higher when compared to May 2023 levels. On a year-to-date basis, ridership is 11.2% higher when compared to the same period in 2023. Comparing the 10.2 million rides to the pre-COVID rides of 13.3 million that you see on the right-hand side of the slide, we are lower by about 3.1 million rides, approximately 23% when compared to pre-COVID levels.
Raj, what was that number? I'm sorry.
3.1 million rides.
Okay.
So I think what I'm looking at on the right-hand side, Mayor Kumar, is the 2019, the 13.3 million rides, to the 2024, the 10.2. Passenger fares were 7.9% below the previous month, April 2024. They still remain 21% above budget. On a year-to-date basis, we are 25% higher when compared to 2023, and that's largely a result of the timing of certain receipts from student fare tickets and new passes. Comparing to pre-COVID levels, we are lower by 2.1 million, or roughly 13.4%. June sales tax, based on March 2024 activity, was 5.07% higher when compared to June 2023 receipts. On a year-to-date basis, we're relatively flat, as you see in the upper right-hand corner, at 0.5% higher than 2023. And once again, on a year-to-date basis, when you compare 2024 to 2023 levels, 15 of the 23 categories were positive. Online sales were 13.5% higher. Regular and statewide sales were 0.02% lower, relatively flat, and motor vehicles and watercraft were 1.12% higher. Just a quick snapshot of some of the materials that are included in your monthly package, just as a highlight. Total long-term debt as of the end of the year amounted to $30.3 million. Our average investment yield through the end of May is 4.48%. Total cash and investments stand at $381.4 million, of which unrestricted or general fund cash and investments amount to $24.4 million, restricted are $357.0 million. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions or comments.
Any questions on the report? Raj, could you go back just for 1 second? I have one on the ridership slide. So like every year we continue to make progress with that red line, but you said we're still 3.1 million rides down?
When you look at the year-to-date rides for 2024 at 10.2 million rides, rounded thereabouts, I'm comparing it to the 2019, which was the full pre-COVID ridership data. So yes, there has been recovery, slow and steady, as you can see through the years and stuff, but we still remain lower than the pre-COVID numbers.
Yep. Nope, good to see the increases. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sleesman.
Yeah, Raj, can you just remind me how many months delay there is in the sales tax report?
There's a 3-month delay. So the way this happens is the economic activity that took place in March, by the time the vendors, et cetera, collect the sales tax, remit to the state of Ohio, it goes through the normal process, and the allocation takes about 3 months.
Great, thanks.
Mr. President, if I may,
Yes, please.
can you go to the last slide? With this one here. What is, I know it's baked into the yield, but for the lay people, interest expense on the long-term debt versus income from the money we have deposited. I'm trying to get what the net is, approximate.
Just bear with me for a second. So I think included in the package there is a debt service schedule and status report through the end of May, which shows the 30.3 million as the total outstanding balance on the notes payable. The interest payment, we make two interest payments, one in June and the other one in December. The June interest amount was 740,000, roughly. And the interest that will be paid in December is roughly the same, 740,000.
Okay, so we have about 1.5 million in interest annually.
That's correct.
What are we bringing in from investment and dividend income from our deposits?
Close to 6 million, I want to say, is the budget.
See, that's a wonderful spread. So we're getting 6 million and offset by 1.5, and that's all that I was trying to. Whenever we have debt, I like to walk through those steps.
And historically, I think we are standing at 30.3 million at one of the lower balances and notes payable that we have had as an organization. Goes back to the efforts in the last several years of defeasing and prepaying some of the long-term debt and trying to aggressively pay it down. Yep. If we continue on the trend, we do expect that by the end of 2030, we'll be debt-free.
Thank you. Good report. I've been following this pretty closely in my own municipality, and at least right now, it doesn't make any sense to pay down the debt because we're borrowing much cheaper than what we're earning, and you've just illustrated that here as well.
Which is always the case. However, I do want to point out that in the notes payable and the bonds payable, we do offer our investors some protection that we will not call the bonds prior to a certain number of years. So even if we wanted to actually prepay that, it wouldn't make a sense because we would have to actually pay out the interest that we had previously sold the bonds at.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you so much for your report.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Next up, I believe we have the General Manager's report.
All right. Good afternoon or morning. Still morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm going to start off with a little bit of good news. Perfect timing after that robust conversation about the budget. We wanted to make sure that you were aware of a grant that was awarded to us at the end of May. You'll see a couple of items on this report for the last couple of days of May. So just a FYI on that one. May 28th, RTA successfully secured a $16 million grant. It's known as ASAP colloquially, but it's the All Stations Accessibility Program. And so this is a competitive award that comes through the FTA, the Federal Transit Administration, and this will allow us to rehabilitate 8 stations along our service line and making the entire Blue Line accessible for those with disabilities. So we really are super excited about this to make sure that this kind of rounds out a lot of the program that Reverend Lucas was here to spearhead us through during his tenure, and several of you have supported over the last few years, so we appreciate that. And the upgrades are listed below just for your information. But again, we appreciate the feds for investing in Cleveland, and this really is a great kind of icing on the cake to make sure that we can continue in that work. Again, just wanted to recap, this is for the end of May, but I don't know that it made it into the last presentation, so just wanted to give you the heads up. I was given the award by the YWCA along with 8 other of my colleagues for the Women of Achievement Award. This was celebrated at Severance Hall at the end of May, so we're super excited about that. Several of you were there in attendance. I appreciate the support to be able to support the YWCA's mission of eliminating racism and empowerment for females, especially in their industries. So this was a great achievement. I appreciate Cleveland for this and also embracing the RTA's work. All right, other great things that have been going on in June, the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. You'll hear me talk about Urban League from time to time. I was able to serve as a moderator. You'll notice and recognize some of the faces in that photo there are our own mayor of the city of Cleveland, Justin M. Bibb, and also our Congresswoman, Chantel Brown for Ohio District 11, Chris Ronayne, our Cuyahoga County Executive, and Beju Shah, the President and CEO of the Greater Cleveland Partnership, were among those that I was able to interview on behalf of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. There was a convening event, as they called it. You may know that Urban League will be bringing the national conference to Cleveland in 2025, so you'll see a lot of this lead-up information. I do serve as the co-chair for bringing that conference here to Cleveland. That will not interfere with my day work, just to make sure that you're aware of that as well. But this is a great opportunity to make sure that Cleveland has a continued presence in the areas of DEI and DBE, particularly in the face of everything going along on the national stage. So a great opportunity, and a great opportunity to highlight RTA as well. The 33rd Annual Women of Vision Scholarship and Awards Gala. We're in the summertime, so there's a lot of these awards galas going on. You'll see some of the photos here. I was presented with the Economic Empowerment Award. This one is really representative of the work that you just saw Ida present. I don't know how many slides that was, Ida, but I stopped counting after about 5 or 6. Being able to really talk about making a mainstay for workforce development in our region is important. And I would not be able to sit on that stage without the work that our team has done. So this was really a testament to what RTA has done in the areas of workforce and development, being able to provide jobs. I wanted to make sure, and the team wanted to make sure, that the excuse for us will not ever be workforce development if we can help it. You cannot tell me that folks in Cleveland don't need jobs. You can't tell me that anywhere else people don't need jobs. So we have to work harder to find those folks and connect them to RTA. The National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated of Greater Cleveland had an event to be able to talk about public policy, economic empowerment, and different facets of leadership in STEAM and STEM programs for young girls of color in our community. And you'll see a great team. I want to be able to shout out those ladies who we brought a team of 8 or 10 women to the table. They were representative of the workforce. These are the ladies that are usually in uniform, so I wanted to make sure that they got their shine. They looked lovely. And I just wanted to be able to mention that. Kim Smith, HRIS Manager, Human Resources. Evelyn Rios, Rail Operator from the Rail District. Shanice Barton, Executive Assistant for Engineering. Sherlita Hatcher, Paratransit Operator from Paratransit District. Davita Bentz, Transportation Manager for Trisket. Meghna Bhimaparapu, Business Operations Administrator 2, Rail District. Fiona Gibbons, Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Human Resources. And Margaret Colon Ramos, Talent Acquisition Business Partner 2, Human Resources. These are the ladies that are behind the engine, or under the hood, so to speak, and it was nice to be able to recognize their talent as well. So thank you, and I appreciate it, and those are my colleagues at the top, along with the chapter president who did receive awards that night. Also, transferring on to a little bit of a recap, we did host the APTA, the American Public Transportation Association, rail conference earlier in the beginning of June. Part of that, as we like to affectionately call it, I think Natoya said we hosted really a 4-in-1 or a 5-in-1. We ended up doing quite a bit of mini conferences in addition to the overall agenda, and that's pretty common. One of those conferences that kind of kick-started the week was the Transportation Security Administration, otherwise known as TSA, Policing and Security Peer Advisory Group. So there were probably about 100 to 150 safety and security professionals from around the nation. Homeland Security, TSA, public transit, anything you can think of, fire, emergency response, to be able to talk about innovation in transit, as well as things like homelessness, the unhoused, mental health, software systems, every facet of transportation safety and security, and even how to start up a transit police force were discussed. Our Chief Jones was able to kind of head that up, as well as our Deputy Gettings. So we appreciate that, and we were able to really hobnob and meet and greet with a lot of great folks. So we'll appreciate the opportunity to host that group. Also, during that APTA week, we also hosted on the DBE side with the U.S. Department of Transportation, known as USDOT. We talked about wealth creation through an outreach event that was held in public auditorium. This was co-hosted at the behest of Irene Marion, the director of the Office of Civil Rights. As you all know, I do serve as the Civil Rights Officer for RTA alongside our DBE and OEO groups as well. The event was co-hosted by us, City of Cleveland, and also Cleveland Hopkins Airport. So we talked about the new ruling that went into effect on May 9th that will be affecting a significant overhaul to DBE programs rules, and this is the newest, latest, and greatest affecting the DBE community in over a decade. So great information, and it was nice to be able to host that here. Also, as part of that week, we had exploration tour of Goodwill. So I do have my Goodwill pin that just so happened to be today. We will be exploring a potential workforce partnership between RTA and Ohio Canton, where Ohio is actually headquartered in North Canton, but we're thinking about the greater Cleveland area and East Central Ohio to be able to talk about a partnership to make sure that we have wraparound services provided to our customers as well as new employees, and also another avenue to be able to find new talent that we could bring into our coffers here at RTA. There is a great prototype out there already. North Georgia Goodwill and MARTA, which is Atlanta's Transit Authority, has been working together for almost 2 years. And I want to say they brought on over 500 people to MARTA thus far, which is music to my ears because, again, dealing with attrition and dealing with everything else in retirements, we got to make sure that we keep that pipeline strong. And this is a great example of how we could get into that business. So we will bring you more to come. With that, I wanted to make sure that we could give you a little bit of eye candy today. We've got 2 videos to be able to recap some of what was going on at the APTA conference. I believe we have one that was provided to us by APTA National, and then we also have one that was collaborated in-house by our marketing team. So shout out to Allison in the marketing, along with Natoya and Sharon that did a great job. So I'll let you guys cue it up, or if I'm just gonna hit the button. Okay.
Hello, APTA. Well, good morning and welcome to APTA's 2024 Rail Conference. It is great to be here with you in Cleveland, a beautiful city on the waterfront with a multimodal transit network at the heart of this 8-county, $200 billion Cleveland metro area economy.
It's great to see this kind of enthusiasm for passenger rail. After all, we are at the start of a real renaissance in America for rail.
That as you reflect on this conference and go back to your respective cities all across this nation, we have to meet the moment, not just for the present, but for the next generation. And I know with the great public servants in this room, we can do just that.
I am a transplant to Cleveland, but it really has embraced me as a resident of the city and the region. This is really a physical testament to the importance of public transportation. We appreciate you for being here.
For those that want to clap, you can do it. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. I wanted to lead being bold. In the face of hard times, being resilient. In the face of change, being adaptable. While others were hard and tough, I wanted to be vulnerable, but also lifting others up by being encouraging.
The vendor showcase is a tremendous opportunity. I love coming to the showcase. As soon as the opening session was open, ran here to see the technology. Technology will drive our industry going forward.
This is actually my first APTA conference to attend and to participate in, so really excited. I'm really excited about the opportunities to just meet and make new relationships with new partners.
There's a lot of different conferences, a lot of different sectors. The one thing about APTA, it really does attract a lot of the folks that we really want the opportunity to see, to reconnect, to meet new people. It is the power of the people when you're here at this conference.
I have to say, I love the transportation industry. It really is very close to home, and it's a very tight-knit community. People do move around, but when you make a connection, I feel like you make a connection for the remainder of your career.
You have to attend these conferences. You have to do the workshops. You have to start meeting people. You have to start getting engaged. The only way you're going to learn and be supported in your growth is if you do that.
I take a lot of notes. I get sort of made fun of for that, but for me, it's really about being able to digest some of this stuff. There's a ton of information coming at you, and some of this it's gonna stick, And some of it you'll look back at later and say, oh, you know, this was something that I hadn't considered in the moment, but this is actually really important. So I really do value the information that I get out of those sessions.
So just want to say thank you. We've got one more video, but that'll be pretty quick. But thank you to all of the volunteers that we had here at RTA. I want to say we had around 87 or 89 individuals that supported this. And that's just boots on the ground that day of. There's a plethora of folks that were working behind the scenes as well. And I've got one more. Thank you. Record-breaking attendance. Just gonna ad lib over this. I like this. This allows me to do that. So just a quick heads up. This is a conference that happens on an annual basis by APTA. It has not come to Cleveland in probably well over 1 or 2 decades, if ever, in the last few administrations. This is a conference that is held in different locations every year. So it's great to be able to say that we got this kind of recognition from an economic empowerment standpoint. These are the tours that were given. Rail Yard, Superior Bridge, as well as Rail Museum as well. We probably had 5 to 6 tours going on every day. Transit ambassadors, administrative staff, TSA, TP, instruction, workforce development. It was just a great day, a great week. So we appreciate you for your support with that, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments, questions? I'm just going to go into the president's report, and I just want to echo what the general manager said. I think this conference was a huge success here in Cleveland. It was great that we had such a good attendance. I know relative, you and I spoke offline, relative to some recent conferences in other cities, this attendance was, what, 1,600? Yeah. And similar conferences in past years were in 1,200 range, so we were super proud of that. But just to echo all the help from the employees and management to staff this, I know we're going to have an appreciation lunch after this to thank them for it, but it was a wonderful event for Cleveland to host and highlight our town. Is there any old business from board members? Okay. Any new business? Excellent. At this point, we will open public comment up on any transit-related item. Those in person will go first. Ma'am.
As I was saying before, I live in Lake County, but the bus does come there. And I appreciate that too, because I don't drive anymore. I came down here. I had an appointment today to go to the see my kidney doctor, but I thought this was more important for me to come down here because calling, I'm not getting any kind of satisfaction calling. And this is something that April the 28th. That's been a while ago. I had. Called for a ride to go to church and pick me back up. Meantime, my brother told me we're going somewhere else after church, so I'll come and pick you up. I called April 28th between 8:45 and 9 o'clock and told the girl that you can send me the first ride, but the second ride you can cancel because I won't be needed. Well, when I got out of the church, my brother was there one side and the bus was there in the lot. And I told the girl, I said, I canceled this ride this morning. She called the people. I don't know what they told her, but anyway, she got on and left. What I should have done was that same, when she got through talking to them, I should have talked to them myself. Maybe they could have found out I had called. But what I did, I went on with my brother, and then the next day, which was April 29th, I think it was on a Monday, I called and left a message. I said, I just had a feeling that they wasn't going to cancel it, maybe because I didn't cancel 2 rides, just 1. Or maybe she forgot, I don't know. But anyway, May the 2nd, they sent me a letter out. This was like a little, educational letter, which isn't anything about getting suspended or nothing like that. But it could have been to somebody else, the same letter could have been suspension. Reason I'm down is because if we take the time and do our part, calling down and canceling a ride, and then the, the discharge people don't record it, then that's when we get punished. This isn't a punishment, it's just an educational letter, but I shouldn't have got that at all. What they need to do is maybe have a talk with the discharge ones, because they could have found out if I called or not. Somebody told me every time somebody called here that this recorded. So I wish somebody would find out who that girl was and why she didn't write that down that I called.
Thank you for your comments. And we can have.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for your comments. We've got our paratransit director here, so we'll make sure he follows up with you as well before you leave. Okay, thank you.
Any other individuals in person, please? If you could go up to the microphone. We need to further our record. If you could go over to the microphone, please.
Natoya, can you hand her a mic? There you go, thank you.
This is the mic, thank you, appreciate that. I do have a case of macular degeneration, so I must tell you, you all look like a blob to me. I'm sorry, but I know you're there somewhere.
Could you state your name, please?
I have had one run-in with RTA when I was 76, and the knee works fine. My football injury is all taken care of. Thank you for that. I just had another little thing with you, as you probably realize I take paratransit, and I've often wondered why a fairly good-sized vehicle comes out to pick me up and bring me back. And one day, a nice little small vehicle came, looked like a small car. So it was an overcast day, and the back door was slid open. There was a handle outside. There was no handle inside, and the seat was right there, and I stepped up into it, and I noticed there was just one seat across the aisle. So I thought, well, if somebody else comes, I'll have to move, so I'll just move now. So I threw my purse over there, and I took a step. Holy Toledo. I'm sorry, Toledo, forgive that. The floor wasn't there. I have a picture of what was there. It was a trench about 10 to 12 inches deep between this seat and the seat across. There wasn't a handlebar anywhere to help you. There was not one iota of yellow on that floor anywhere. Not at the edge of the step, not in the bottom of the pit, anywhere. I went down. 1 foot down that way, this foot went down with a bang on my knee on the floor, scraped my shin bone. Needless to say, I was not thinking kind thoughts. So I did call the office of the building I live in, and the gentleman came out, and I asked him to take a picture. Well, this is the picture of what I fell into. So, getting control of myself and knowing I had a picture, I thought you should be notified of this. This was a paratransit item. I mean, sure. I'm not the only one that has probably a sight difficulty. I don't walk with a cane. I'm fine.
Thank you. And, our paratransit manager's here, so, what might be best is for you to just talk directly with him after the meeting, get more details, and we'll share that photo with him.
Well, I want you to know that the driver called. I talked to the person. I said, I'm not going to sue, but this should not happen to anybody else.
Yep.
And I thought, well, I will hear from RTA. No, that was in March on the 18th. I was going to a doctor's appointment, and he looked at my knee, and he said that it's not bruised. That wasn't the point. The point is, you should not have a leased vehicle that is not properly designated for such an uneven floor. Okay. Do you even know about that? You should not hire that. You should not pay for that. Somebody someday will have an injury on that, and they'll sue you. I'm not going to sue you. I'm not interested in your money. Okay. I'm enjoying life too well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can you tell us your name?
Oh, yes. I'm Fay Porter, F-A-Y. That's an F as in Frank, not an S. It's an F.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Porter.
you very much. Do we have any other individuals in person that would like to make a public comment?
Good morning, everybody. This is Lou, but I'm here making comments on behalf of another gentleman you have met a lot, Larry Rodriguez. Larry has to go to his job. He did not realize we have committee of the whole executive session before the board meeting, so he had to leave. He would like to make the comments also about paratransit service. That also goes to fixed route services as well. The noises all these vehicles could produce, plus the traffic, this has not been friendly to the people with developmental disabilities, for example, autism spectrum. And myself, Lou, I have made comments in the past also about these issues. And I think this is a time we can actually work on these things together, because we know in our service areas, the aging population has been growing. By the end of this decade, we will have a quarter of the people being seniors. And this is the reason why I have been urging GCRTA trying to improve the physical build of the vehicle we use for paratransit and for the fixed route services, and also the quality of our workforce. And we have to really understand the difficulties for the people with all these needs. And if we can have a proper training, diving deeper down, and this will help a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other individuals here in the board meeting who would like to make a comment? Okay, if not, let's go to the phone, please. Do we have any callers?
We have one caller, caller 0387. You can go ahead.
India Cherry made a point in her report that nobody can tell her that people in the Cleveland metro area don't need jobs. Well, so what? Here's some facts for you, India Cherry. There's 61 businesses at the Pinecrest Shopping Center, and I've been pointing out to you repeatedly how if you introduce the number 15A route, just 1 hour, 16 trips a day, you will get people to those 61 businesses, which are more than 100 plus jobs in one trip. And those people will get to the red line, blue line, and green line in one bus as it moves through the neighborhoods and complements service with the 48, what should be the new 48A, the 15, the 50, and the number 11, as well as ending at Cleveland State University. But you aren't paying attention. Then I want to tell the group of you this. The number 50 bus leaves 93rd and Chester at approximately 4:23 p.m. this afternoon. At 4:09 and 4:39, the number 48 bus leaves Chester at this afternoon, heading south. All three of those buses will share the same route up to Fair Hill and Martin Luther King Boulevard. You could put the 48A in place and then just run that 48 once an hour, let the 48A run once an hour, and the service won't change. As the 50 travels down Martin Luther King, 116th, and then heads up miles going east to 131st, It then takes about 13 minutes to get to 177th and South Miles. It would only take approximately 9 minutes to get to Marymount Hospital, where more people need the service. If the 48A was in service, starting again at Fairhill and Martin Luther King, you would still have the same service because the 48A and the 48 run the same route up to 131st and Miles, except for at 131st and Miles, the 48A will take its traditional route, which it never should have been removed.
Mr. Stewart,
13 minutes up to
Mr. Stewart,
of the South
thank,
Mile.
thank you for your comments. As we've discussed in previous meetings, we have looked at this routing, and at this time, we're not going to change it. And your earlier comment that we're not paying attention, I think was disrespectful. And I'm going to ask you to be talking to us in the future in a more respectful manner. We have taken this and we've looked at it and we have researched it. You may not agree with the outcome, but we think this serves our ridership the best, getting them to Civic, Hospital, and other well-traveled routes. The goal is to get more riders to employment, to and from work. And so at this point, we're going to stick with the plan. Thank you very much. Do we have any web comments?
We have one web comment. No more on the phone in the back. Okay.
There were no other calls.
Okay. We have one web comment from Chris Stocking, just to summarize. He wanted to make some suggestions for RTA during major reroutes, specifically during the movie filming downtown. He suggested that transit ambassadors pass out information and talk to customers, that there's marked signage and temporary bus stops, that bus and rail operators make frequent announcements, that we check our social media and transit app and make sure that information is posted 24 hours in advance, that we also consider adjusting timetables to make sure it's easier for reroutes, also to consider opt-in text alerts for up-to-date reroutes, That's it.
That's the only web comment?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I just want to say just a special shout out to our paratransit riders. I'm appreciative of all of the riders who make comments, but I'm especially grateful for paratransit riders when they can come in and make comments and speak about their experience, but especially our more seasoned riders. I have a special place in my heart for you all, and I'm really grateful that you were able to come here and talk with us today, and I just want to say thank you.
Great. At this time, I think what we'd like to do is do the formal swearing in of our new COC members. And I think we'll do this up front here.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have Robert to take, I don't know who's taking. Okay.
Yeah, we've got, so we have Bob Fleek, our PIO, is going to take photos for us, and Anna Lavix, our representative from legal leadership, will be doing the swearing in, and we'll also have the new members sign off on the code of conduct. So welcome to RTA, gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you again.
Do this in pieces and parts. If you need me to repeat it, just please let me know. Please state your name and raise your right hand. Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio.
Okay, item 22. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, in the boardroom of the Authority, Root McBride Building on 1240 West 6th Street, Cleveland, Ohio. The meeting will be live streamed on RTA's board page and by clicking on the meeting date, and the public is also welcome to attend in person. Seeing that there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Welch.
Second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.